everyone, and welcome to Minimalist Gourmet, where today I'll be teaching you how to make zucchini muffins. This recipe is such a good way to use up that extra zucchini. They taste amazing, and you won't believe how moist these muffins come out. Whether you're going to enjoy them for breakfast or dessert, that's up to you. Let's get crack-a-lackin'. We're going to start by mixing up our wet ingredients, and I have 1/3 of a cup butter that's at room temperature. It's very important that it's not cold before you start mixing. For the best combo of flavor and texture, I'm going to use both 3/4 of a cup brown sugar and half of a cup white sugar. We need to mix this, and you can use a spoon, but I highly recommend using a whisk if you have it. Or, better yet, if you have them, use some electric beaters. We are creaming the butter and sugar together, which is so much more than just mixing it. What we're doing is using the sugar to cut little holes into the fat and incorporate a lot of air. This will create a nice stable structure that is light, airy, and fluffy, and when we go to bake it, it's going to create a wonderful light texture in our final baked muffins. Once you can't see any trace of the individual ingredients and it's nice and light and fluffy, you're ready to start with your first egg. We're going to add just one egg at a time and mix it in very well. Make sure to blend your batter until you don't see your egg whatsoever, and it's a nice creamy consistency like this. The reason that we're doing this process is we need to create an emulsion. That's going to help the fat and the water play nicely together. If you've ever shaken Italian salad dressing to combine the oil and vinegar, you created a temporary emulsion. What we're doing here is creating an emulsion that should be a lot more permanent. Just mix everything very well until it's a consistent color, nice, light, and creamy, just like this. Run a spatula around the sides and bottom to make sure there aren't any hidden pockets that are unmixed. Our next wet ingredient is zucchini. We need a couple of medium zucchinis, which are about this big. I've washed them very well, and they need just a little bit of prep here. We're going to go ahead and cut the top and the bottom off just a little bit. We'll be grating our zucchini, and you can choose to use the larger or the smaller size portion of the grater. The smaller size here is going to have a little bit finer texture. I honestly prefer the larger sized holes, so I'm going to go ahead and go with this side of the grater, but that's completely up to you. I find that when I grate, if I rotate the zucchini in my hand a little bit here, as you can see my hands going back and forth, that it makes it a much smoother and faster process. Once you get down to this little bit of nubbin here, you can go ahead and toss that away. Zucchini is very cheap, and your fingers will thank you. We need 2 cups in total, which is great because each zucchini produced 1 on its own. Now you can go less zucchini than this if you'd like, but try not to go a whole lot more than 2 cups in total, otherwise there might be a bit too much liquid. We're going to put in 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract for flavor and our 2 cups of grated zucchini. Because I love you guys so much, there's always a recipe in the description below, so check that out. And if you want to show me a little bit of love in return, that'd be great. Feel free to give this a like, comment, or subscribe. Because the zucchini has such a high moisture content, once you mix it in here, you're going to see a little bit of separation, and that's fine. As you can see here, your butter and sugar mixture is separated out. That's okay. Don't worry, this is exactly what it's supposed to look like. With all your wet ingredients mixed together, we're going to go ahead and set this aside and work on the dry ingredients. We're going to mix our dry ingredients in a separate bowl, and we're going to start with 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Our rising agent is going to be 1 teaspoon baking powder and 1 teaspoon baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt to make sure all of our flavors pop, and 1.5 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. You can also add in about 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg if you'd like. Mix your dry ingredients well. The reason that we mix our dry ingredients and our wet ingredients separately is that once we bring these together, we want to mix them as little as possible until it just comes together. A little bit of mixing creates a nice fine texture, but the more you mix it, the more tough and chewy it's going to become. Now it's time to bring these together. You're going to pour your dry ingredients directly on top of your wet ingredients and begin mixing. Remember, you want to mix this as little as possible until everything just comes together, but you do want to make sure that it's mixed. When flour and water are mixed together, they create gluten, which is chewy. So think of something like a nice fudgy brownie. When we are creating muffins, we want to make a nice, crumbly, fine texture. That's why we don't want to overwork the batter. This looks good to me. There's a slight trace of flour around the edges, but that's all right. Our last ingredient is going to be some nuts. I'll be using 1/2 cup of almonds. You can toast these if you'd like to add a little bit more flavor. I'll leave a link in the description below to my short on how to do this. You can also use something like pecans, walnuts, really any nut that you'd like. And if you want to kick this up to 11, you can actually add in 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. Of course, the nuts and chocolate chips are fully optional, and all you need to do is fold them in a couple of times to make sure that they're mixed in. Don't overwork it. I love using these silicone muffin liners. You've seen me use them on the channel a few times before. They are flexible, reusable, durable, and nothing sticks to them. But the best part is that you don't need a muffin tin to use them. You can just put them on a tray and they'll sit straight up on their own. But you can use what you have on hand. A muffin pan will work just fine, and you can use paper liners. This recipe will yield 12 muffins. Now, when filling up your muffin tin or your muffin liners, you do want to fill them fairly full, about 3/4 or about 4/5 of the way. These don't rise a tremendous amount, so go ahead and be generous with your portions. As you can see here, I'm filling them pretty full. I'm going to top my muffins with just a few of these dark brown sugar crystals that I have. You can skip this step if you'd like, or you can use anything from brown sugar to white sugar to demerara sugar. They'll all actually work really well. This is going to create a nice little bit of sweetness on the top and a little bit of crunch as you bite in. Bake these in a preheated 375-degree oven for 20 to 25 minutes. My muffins baked for just over 20 minutes and I pulled them out. These are done to me. You can check these by inserting a toothpick directly in the center and pulling it out. It should come out clean without any goopy mess on it. I'll be checking with my finger today by tapping the top. Right in the center, it should be nice and solid and rebound. There shouldn't be any moisture or goop that sticks to your finger. You want to take these out of a muffin tin if you use them and transfer them to a cooling rack. I don't actually have a cooling rack, so I pulled out the rack that was in my toaster oven and it's going to work great. A couple of my muffins had a little bit of spillover while cooking, as you can see here, and I want to go ahead and remove that. It's easiest to do when it's warm, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull it off. This is another reason I absolutely love these silicone liners, is because nothing sticks to them. However, if you're using a paper liner, you should still be able to do this without a problem as long as they're warm. Let these muffins cool for about half hour to 45 minutes to come down to room temperature. You can enjoy them while they're warm though. I really can't recommend these silicone cupcake liners enough. They eliminate the headache that comes when you want to remove your baked goods. Let's cut one of these open and take a look. Not only are they extremely moist, but you have that beautiful zucchini flavor, the crunch of those almonds, as well as that nice crunchy sugary top. These really do hit on every level. These will keep at room temperature for about 3 to 5 days, stored in an airtight container, but that's if they make it that long, because these things are so darn good, they're going to be gone in minutes. Whether you enjoy these as a breakfast or dessert, I know you're going to enjoy them because they are just that good. For all of you rock stars that watch till the end, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and attention today. I really hope you enjoyed this recipe, and I hope to see each and every one of you here again next week on the next episode of Minimalist Gourmet.